Well, the worldwide death toll for the coronavirus is now past 3,000, and that now includes 4 new deaths here in the United States today.
All 6 U.S. deaths so far have been in Washington state, and the ones we have details for were people who had other health conditions as well. Now, NBC News reports that FEMA is preparing for a possible disaster declaration from the president that would open up more federal money for states. There are now more than 90 confirmed cases here in the U.S., which should rise as more people get tested.
And that includes New York's first case that we learned more about today. Join Your Side's Dave McKinley has the facts for us.
We have a lot of information now. The information is actually showing us things that should give us more reason to stay calm and go about our lives.
The mayor of the nation's largest city, where the first case of coronavirus in New York has been confirmed, joined state officials in urging calm. They included Governor Cuomo, who made several of the same points President Trump did when he first addressed the presence of the virus in the U.S. last week.
And we should relax, because that's what's dictated by the reality of the situation.
The reality, according to the governor, is that 80% of those who may contract the virus could be expected to recover on their own, while noting that those who may face more dire consequences are no different than usual.
Immune-compromised, debilitated people, senior citizens, like the normal flu.
And on a more positive note, and perhaps to reassure parents, unlike the common flu,
this virus does not seem to affect children, so this is good news.
And while the mortality rate from coronavirus is more than double the rate of those who succumb to more common strains of flu, even here, he notes,
they're extrapolating from what we know from countries around the world,
whose healthcare systems and efforts to deal with an outbreak simply don't measure up to ours.
We have the best healthcare system in the world here.
But because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, state officials will issue new cleaning protocols for schools and public transit systems, as well as make an emergency appropriation of $40 million to be spent on ramping up testing of suspected cases.
I would like to have a goal of 1,000 tests per day capacity within 1 week.
Because it is thought the earlier you can confirm a case of coronavirus, the earlier steps can be taken to prevent a spread, most of which involves isolating the person in their homes. State officials say the 39-year-old woman who came down with coronavirus, perhaps because she is a healthcare worker, proved to be a textbook example of knowing just what to do. She was aware she had traveled in Iran where the virus was spreading. She avoided public transit in getting to her home from the airport. And once she felt symptoms, both she and her husband called a hospital in advance to tell them they were coming in. They remain isolated in their home. Dave McKinley, Channel 2 News. Scott Mariellis.
Right, Dave, thank you for the update.
And if you want to stay updated on the latest on the coronavirus, the Text 2 line is there for you. Just text the word FACTS to 849-2200 and you'll get the link to all of our latest stories. You can also text us your questions about the virus and we'll do our best to get them answered for you. Reporter Danielle Church will have some of those answers at 5:30.